everyone, I'm teacher Ragini and this is Form 1 Mathematics. Alright, today we're going to take a look at Chapter 1 of Form 1 Mathematics. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. Okay, for this very first chapter, we're going to be looking at something called rational numbers. Alright, okay. To begin, we are going to differentiate between positive numbers and negative numbers. Okay, positive numbers and negative numbers. So we normally use these in our daily life, all right? So what are they actually? What are positive and negative numbers? Positive number is any number that is greater than 0. What are some examples of numbers greater than 0? Numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. These are all positive numbers, okay? Positive number is written with or without the plus sign, which means to say that if I write it like this is positive 1, right? But this is also positive 1, okay? I didn't write the positive, it's just understood. You don't always have to write it. It's okay not to write. Like positive 3.5, or I can just write it as 3.5, no issue. Or positive 1 over 2 and 1 over 2. They are the same. These are all positive numbers. Okay, how about negative numbers? Negative numbers are numbers that are less than 0. If it is a negative number, it is compulsory for us to write the negative sign. Okay, we have to write it like negative 1, negative 3.5, and negative 1 over 2. Okay, so these are negative numbers. So why do we have positive and negative numbers? Why do we need this actually? It actually helps us to represent certain situations that we want to explain, okay? For example, we can ascribe this ourselves, okay? We can set this ourselves. The movement to the north is represented by a positive number, and the movement to the south is represented by a negative number. Okay, for instance, I tell you, okay, I'm going to move, but instead of telling you every time I'm moving north 2 km, I'm moving north 3 km, I just tell you the number, all right? So if I say a positive number, it's understood that I'm moving north. Okay, so if I say 30 km, you know that it is north. If I say I'm moving negative 20 km, you know that I am moving south by 20 km. Okay, so we can set the meaning to it. Positive for north, negative south. Same for upwards and downwards. Maybe upward can be represented by a positive number and downward can be represented by a negative number. Okay, and then how about things like temperature? Okay, higher temperature, positive number. Lower temperature, negative number. Okay, so this is something that is used and understood worldwide. What's the temperature here in Malaysia? The temperature is 32 degrees Celsius, right? But in certain countries, you will see, they say, oh, you know, we're having a blizzard. It's currently negative 40 degrees Celsius, all right? It's very cold. So that means it is a lower temperature. It's lower, lesser than 0, isn't it? Okay, how about profit? Sometimes when we see in accounting, when we look at profit and loss sheet, we'll see after the whole year of accounts, it comes out as a positive number, okay? So that means positive means, okay, we made a profit this year. But sometimes after a whole year of accounts, the last number down there is negative. Okay, if it's negative, usually it means that it is a loss. Okay, and then increase in price, positive number, decrease in price, we can represent it with a negative number. Okay, so this is just meant to make our life a little bit easy, right? Okay, let's look at some examples here. Let's represent each of the following using a positive or negative number. A loss of Rm 750 ringgit. Since it is a loss, we have to put it as negative Rm 750. All right, how about the second one? The price of a pack of Skittles increased by 50 cents. Okay, so meaning to say it went up. So we can represent it with a positive 50 cents or just 50 cents, all right? No positive. Remember what I said just now? If it's positive, it's not necessarily for you to put the positive each time. It's not compulsory. The price of the share market of company P has increased by 2 ringgit 10 cents in a month. So we can use it as, can represent it in positive 2 ringgit and 10 cents, or just 2 ringgit and 10 cents. That works too. All right, look at example 2. 400 meters to the right is written as positive 400. Thus, 250 meters to the left is written as, okay, right is positive, left we can write it as negative. Okay, 56 km to the west is written as minus 56. So 65 km to the east is going to be written as, just now was negative, now it is going to be positive, either positive 65 or just 65. 35 meters above sea level is written as 35. So 12 meters below sea level is going to be negative 12. All right, simple, right? It's either positive or negative. Okay, next one. A positive integer, okay, we're going to discuss integers, is an integer that is greater than 0. So these are all positive integers. 2, 5, and 17, all are positive. A negative integer is an integer that is less than 0, like negative 2, negative 3, and negative 17. Okay, now let's identify them. Look at this example. Determine the positive integer and the negative integer. Negative 3, positive 4.5. 8, positive 16, negative 2.4, negative 4, 1/2. First, let me begin by highlighting all the positive numbers, okay? Positive 4.5, this is positive. 8 is positive. Positive 16 is also positive. All right. Positive integers are only 8 and positive 16. So actually, what happened to our positive 4.5? What happened to 4.5? It is not considered an integer because it is a decimal. All right. Decimals and fractions are not integers. Integers are always whole numbers. Okay. Whole numbers like 8 and 16. Okay. There's no point, something, something. There's no like fraction, you know, it's a fraction like a part of a whole number. No, it has to be a whole number. So when we look at this, our negative integer is only negative 3 because 3 is a whole number. Okay. Negative 2.4 and negative 4, 1/2. These are not going to be integers because one is a decimal and the other one is a fraction, right? So this is not an integer. So when they ask you to determine the positive integer, make sure to exclude those things which are decimals and fractions. Okay, representing integers on a number line. So when we use a number line, we can either do a horizontal number line or a vertical number line. Horizontal means what? Means like this, right? It comes from the word horizon. Okay, when we stand at the beach and we look at the horizon, the line is like this, isn't it? Left to right. Okay, so it's a flat line like this. So this is a horizontal number line. Note that positive integers are located on the right hand side. Okay, so we have 0 in the middle, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then negative integers are located on the left hand side. Again, 0 in the middle, followed by negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and negative 4. Okay. Vertical number lines is basically down to up. Okay, so all the positive integers are located above the 0. Let's look at this. 1, 2, and 3. These are positive. And all the negative ones are below the 0. Negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. These are all negative. Okay. When we look at a horizontal number line, okay, we know that 4 is greater than 3. Okay, 4 is greater than 3. 4 is greater than 3. 3 is greater than 2. 2 is greater than 1. 1 is greater than 0. 0 is greater than negative 1. -1 is greater than -2, -2 is greater than -3, -3 is greater than -4. So as we look towards the right, the number is actually increasing. We look from left to right. -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The value is increasing as we go to the right-hand side. Okay? And likewise for the vertical number line, the numbers on the below part is smaller. The numbers on top are bigger. Okay? So, -3, bigger than -3 is -2, followed by -1. 0 is bigger than all the negative numbers. Okay? And then 1 is larger than 0, 2 is larger than 1, and 3 is larger than 2. We know this already. All right. So let's look at some example question. I want you guys to try this out, okay? Okay, let's look at this together. 0, +10, +35, +50, and 200 are positive integers. -3, -7, -20, -300, and -500 are negative integers. And these are non-integers. You can see here, 1/3, 2/5, sorry, -2/5, and then we have some decimals. All these are not integers. Okay, so the question is asking you to circle the integers. Simple, right? We have to circle all those which are not fractions and not decimals. So the answer is going to be 24 and -36. All right. The others are fractions and decimals, so they are not. Okay, how about number 2? The integer is going to be 500 and -25. Okay, the others are not because they're all decimals, so decimals are not integers. Okay, how about let's see this one. Complete the number line. Okay, how do I get from here to here? Sorry. From here to here, I +2, isn't it? Okay, so if I +2, I get -10. And then I can +2 again, I should get -8. +2 again, I can get -6, followed by -4. Okay, -2 plus 2 is 0, plus 2 is 2, and 4, and 6. All right, so I keep plusing the number, +2, +2, +2, +2. Okay. How about here, number 2? All right. Here we have two numbers next to each other, right? In the first example, we have two numbers next to each other. So we can just see, like, okay, here is actually +2. Okay, so I know what to do each time. How about in number 2? There's nothing next to each other. We have -25 here, and then we have -15 here. What is the difference between -25 and -15? That's 10, right? There's 10 numbers between them. Okay, so we know that here should be 5, and here should be 5. Okay, what is -25 plus 5? It is going to be -20. And then -20 plus 5 is -15. -15 plus 5 is -10, followed by -5. -5 plus 5 is 0. 5, and then 10, 15, 20, and 25. Okay, simple, yeah? Okay, let's look at this exercise down here. Compare and arrange the numbers in ascending order. Ascending order means from small to big, right? So which is the smallest number over here? All the numbers over here. Smallest is going to be -3, followed by -2, followed by -1. And then 0 is in the middle. And then after that, is there a 1 here? There's no 1. There's just 2. 2, and then 3, and then 4. So did I get them all? Yes, 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 and yes. Okay, got them all. All right, nice. So let's look at number 2. Okay, in ascending order again. So which is the smallest one? We start with the smallest one. It's going to be -5. Okay, and then followed by -2. And then followed by -1. Followed by 0, followed by 2, 3, and 5. Okay, very simple. Next, arranging descending order. Okay, from big to small. So which is the biggest one here? Which is the biggest positive number? The biggest positive number is 5. Okay, so 5 is the first one. And next one is 3. And the next one should be 2 and 1. And then there's no 0 over here. Okay, so we skip the 0. What's the next one? -3, followed by -5 and -6. Okay, and here again, descending order, the biggest one. Which is the biggest one first? Biggest one is going to be, biggest one is going to be 6, followed by 4, 3, 2, and then -2, -5, and -8. All right. I hope that was clear and very simple and very easy to do. Okay. Thank you all for joining me. That's all for this first subtopic, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.